Alright, y'all. This was supposed to be a one-part video, but this data leak from the Google algorithm is just too juicy. So, supposed to be building public day one. This is day one, part two, because there is just too much gold in this doc, and it took me so long to actually get through all of this stuff. With that, I'm going to jump into it, give you an overview of what's happening. I'm going to quickly run through some of the core takeaways that I summarized that's also in the first part of this video, and hopefully give you guys some actionable takeaways here. And then I'm just going to dig deeply into the docs and be very boring. Yeah. So with that said, today is definitely one of the best, most hilarious. It's the most elated I've been, I think, since 2015, 2016. So SEO ranking factors, we have the juice now. We have the real deal information, kind of straight from the horse's mouth. I'm going to explain how we got it. I'm going to say kind of what I think about it, what's going on. There are some actionable takeaways. I think for all the real SEOs out there, though, this is pretty underwhelming stuff. I'll give you my analysis. I think there's going to be a lot more interesting information coming out in the next few months. Probably some lawsuits, both against the people that drop the information, hopefully not against me. But with that said, this is all public record. I'm covering what's good from the external people out there, and yeah, let me just give you guys the rundown. So again, like classic buy the Google denial and sell the leak, baby. Like anyone in the world of SEO knows that this stuff has already been out there. Nothing too surprising. I think a lot of semantic information, but for all the mediocre SEOs, the other 80% of the people out there, this is like us winning arguments that but Google said that it was this or that, right? And so, for the people that actually play the system, today is just Christmas. It's beautiful. All right, so a few things that I think are really worth noting here is this is most likely real. It probably is gonna be a legal issue for some folks. Hopefully not me again. But yeah, so here's basically the rundown. We got our main man, Rand Fishkin, one of the greats in the world of SEO, definitely responsible, I think, for this being a very beautiful, professional, legitimate industry. If it weren't for him, we'd all be just like sweaty monkeys in garages selling links. Sorry, in basements, in our mom's basement selling links. But I think we owe a lot to Rand in terms of professionalizing this industry and making it about real quality work for the most part, right? I have immense trust and respect for Rand. So he got a notification about this leak. Apparently others were aware of this leak. I think from the very beginning, what he was told to say was, an eagle uses the storm to reach unimaginable heights. What motivated the leak seemingly was a moral imperative. It's coming from this guy, Irfan Azimi, who also happens to run an SEO agency of all things. I don't know, but I'm going to throw in the hat here to say that this might be the craziest SEO play of all time, potentially. Like, if this was just a PR move and not a moral imperative, as this guy has termed it to be, I think this might be one of the wildest things that's ever been done to build backlinks. And I wish him the best because this is insane, right? Right now, I'm also just trying to find this domain name, or I can't. Do they even have a site? I'm like, what is going on here? All right, finally. EA Eagle Digital. a little bit of a tongue twister. I think our branding continues to fail us as Also, SEMrush, I can never access my pricing information directly. So if y'all could just help me with that would be great. Yeah, dude, I don't even know. This to me is the sketchiest part. According to Rand, he like checked the guy. Anyways, I got into a whole tangent there, but basically, homeboy looks very, very torn up. He's sad because Google's been lying to us, which of course they've been lying to us. I hope he's like concerned about like AI and militarization and the police state and all that, but I don't know. Anyways, he supposedly is on a good mission. Rand dropped this. Initially, the plan was to make him anonymous, and then I guess he wanted to throw in his piece at this whole thing. He dropped the content API warehouse, which is the main thing we're looking at. There's 1,400 different attributes, AI, API features, what we're loosely going to call ranking factors, signals, whatever you want. 200 of them, the systems really, really matter. The rest of it is pretty much just fluff. So Mike King posted his first earlier in the day, and then Rand Fishkind posted his. Rand is mostly focused on SparkToro, which is doing a lot of very interesting stuff in social analytics. And so I think he passed the baton to a certain extent to Mike King. Honestly, if I were him, I would have sent it to Corey first to get that semantic topical, get him working on it for like 19 hours straight, and then also send it to Mike King, but whatever. Mike King did an exceptional write-up. He's also coming off a really, really wonderful write-up he did of Screaming Frog's integration of, where is that? I'm scrolling to the bottom. This article is perilous. It's so long. There we go. Vector embedding. So he just did a really incredible write-up of this. The man is having the best month in SEO, right? Like, round of applause. From 20 days later, and I think he's also supposed to be on vacation right now. The man's taking calls with Rand Fishkin to just go and completely ruin Google's day. The attorneys are throwing down fat billables right now trying to solve this. Last I checked, John Mueller hasn't even... I don't think he's even said anything today, right? May 21, May 18th, and yeah, I don't even think Google has said anything about the situation. So yeah, this is something where the lawyers are probably going to be working overtime. It's hard to know whether they will deny or ignore. I think most PR experts and attorneys will recommend that they do not say anything, but start suing people almost immediately for both IP theft, crimes against America. Like, they're gonna throw the book at everyone that leaked this information. I'm just bringing y'all the facts of what's going on. All right, so for anyone that wants to like get it as close to the horse's mouth as possible as it currently stands, check out the Mike King article. I found the Rand article to be significantly more approachable, but maybe that's just because he's always shaped more of my thinking. There's also a LinkedIn discussion with his team. He joins about 10 minutes in. So if you want to check that out, just some preliminary thoughts. That's 8 minutes and 20 seconds in. No, 750. What is it? But yeah, again, the general sentiment amongst Google or SEOers is just that we've been lied to. But like, they gotta lie to us. We shouldn't exist as an industry. We undermine the whole system through and through. This video also may be worth a watch if you really want to nerd out, but I don't think a lot is really here as far as like things you can go and execute. part of me really wants to know if this dude didn't just like throw the site up yesterday or a few days ago. I don't know. I don't want to be a hater. I want everyone to win out there. That's a real one, and I'll probably shake his hand at some point. It's gonna be real awkward, but I don't know. My hackles are getting up a little bit here. Um, anyways, I would read the Rand stuff. Besides all the drama, I think this stuff is absolutely the real deal. If you look at these internal links, I mean, look at how ugly that is. That is like, how could that not be a real Google SSO link with this like 1995 pixel art on the bottom right? The yellow color here doesn't even match the yellow in the logo, and it never has. Google has never used that yellow. All right, this page is so ugly and poorly designed that you know it has to be legit. The unnecessary photo of chili peppers that is just absolutely inexplicable. This has legit Google Docs written all over it. Whoever Howard M is, Mark Howard, your portobello chilies are now the stuff of legend for us out here. Um, but yeah, anyways, like we've gotten leaks before. We've gotten all these crazy screen caps. You have people that are blowing Google up for, unfairness and censoring, even though most people, believe in the free rights of a corporation. Um, so here's the backstory on what happened. This apparently got dropped, I guess, intentionally. And then it got saved in this hexdocs thing. So if you want to search the information, see what's good, it's in here. I am not going to take the time to do it, at least right now, because so far nothing has truly been shocking, or nothing really seems like it'll be useful or game changing for my approach, at least as of now. um that's me. Very embarrassing. Ignore that. But yeah, I've been basically saying that you have to, if you want to understand the algorithm, you have to look at the profit motive and then work backwards from there. Google needs the system to be just good enough to maintain large market share so they can sell ad space against it. As everyone knows right now, Google is so heavily laden with ads, and they are so clearly panicking about the AI revolution that they had the widest margin on. This company is a cluster. This is just the frosting on top. I love Google. Google was revolutionary when it came out. I remember when it came out. That's how old I am. But I really wish they would do better, because they love shooting themselves in the foot. We'll just leave it at that. As a company, they are a one-trick pony, unfortunately, and I really, really hope that they can get their game together, because my livelihood is technically dependent on them, right? But yeah, I ain't gonna bellyache out here. I've had a good run, good life, doing what I do, and yeah, we'll adapt and continue to grow. So that's the background of what went down today. Obviously, I'm sure there's going to be a million of these videos. I think I'm making the best one. We'll find out. Yeah, I summarized the actionable insights here. You can check out the first video to see that stuff. I think the only thing that's like wildly interesting is that there's this concept of 20 URL snapshots that's basically been going on. This then means that if you want to get a URL indexed, you want to see the impact of improved quality work, we have to go through 20 cycles of getting a URL updated, indexed by Google before it really takes it seriously. Very, very fascinating stuff. Domain authority is a thing. We knew that. CTR is a thing. We knew that. EMD works, but we're not sure why, even though they say it doesn't. We knew that. Technical SEO is still the juice. We knew that. One other interesting thing is like host age is definitively a thing, so we can game the system by having a longer domain registration. We knew that, but it is like super compelling information as far as I'm concerned. And then sites with more than 50% video content are treated differently. That one's actually super wild. So I think this is like either to combat explicit content or to fight YouTube competitors within organic search. But it is very fascinating from the perspective of our the world at large. There probably are quite a few sites that are getting dinged for having too many videos and they don't know it. So that's an interesting thing that I'd be curious if we can test. And yeah, probably is a manual penalty, this weird manual penalty, or this weird, sorry, not manual, but this weird automated penalty that's been designed manually with this specific intent. It's probably hurting quite a few sites. Content wise, nothing that the good players didn't know. You want to front load content, longer is always better. Know your girth, kids or adults. And as always, you want to have your key info at the front because it's good UX and it's just good general usability. Despite claims of reduced link importance, backlink building is still extremely important and valuable. No surprise there. I think that there's a lot in here that also lends credence to the fact that backlink building is as complicated as I say it is, right? So as SEOs, it is actually as difficult and crazy as we think it is. That I think is undeniable after today's leak. You can do a mediocre job at it, but if you do a good job at it, you can make your dollars go a lot further, which is quite fascinating. Date updates matter a lot, so use a plugin like Revive SO or just be on top of updating your content consistently. Big hack there for anyone. If you have articles that were performing really well 2 years ago or 1 year ago, you can just go and like knock it out of the park with this new stuff. Demotions are real, so again, there is a stick that's gonna come around and smack you if you're too trifling within the world of Google. CTR is real, but you already knew that if you watched this far. Don't use the disavow tool, it's useless. You probably already felt that way, but now you know for sure. We need to wait for more testing because I think at a real level, we don't know how impactful it is and whether or not anyone's using it right. So there needs to be a significant quantity of A/B testing on the disavow tool. It's not mentioned, so that's kind of what we're making hay out of. But yeah, it clearly like doesn't seem to matter at all. You should continue to optimize for quality raters. This is another really fascinating one. Causation correlation. It seems like if you want to be in the top tier, you definitely need to make sure you're compliant folding within their system. Character count doesn't matter. That's a fun one to show to anyone that's trying to get you to do something not worth your time. Over 200 different systems weaved together, a bunch of new lingo for us to learn as an industry. Anyone working in, Angular JS, Next.js, any of these like JavaScript systems, headless systems, JS heavy sites, custom sites. Someone needs to go deep on the HTML render WebKit headless. This is how they go through JavaScript pages. Oh, I forgot to mention the most important thing that we learned today. CTR data is one thing, but Chrome logged in user CTR data is the money. So any kind of testing or work that you do, and frankly, any optimization you do should be focused on Google Chrome users. That is who Google is leveraging for this data, this Chrome trans clicks information. That I think is kind of eye-opening in the sense that Google is really heavily reliant on their own proprietary data. And that to me is a little bit terrifying because that restricts a lot of who is out there, frankly. If you want to play and win within the walled garden, this today was kind of terrifying. Like, you got to make sure you got your AI browser agents and they better look real and they better be on Chrome. And also, by the way, you probably shouldn't even waste time optimizing for anyone else besides people that are on Chrome browsers and logged in. What a wild day. Someone out there, let us know in the comments what the GTM tag is to figure out whether or not someone's cookie is logged in. That is going to be a massive SEO hack in the very near future here. But yeah, Mustang is the word. That's also very compelling and interesting. Basically, there's all these things called twiddlers, and what they basically do is, I think Google has essentially built add-on after add-on after add-on. AI should have been them rebuilding the mansion, but instead they have like a beautiful Pantheon, which was their system up until 2005 ish. And then they have like a trailer park attached to that. And then they have like a crappy built cookie cutter home. And then like a McMansion. So AI, what they should have been working on for the last 5 years was a like beautiful joint system where the AI lived around the best of the Google core ranking algorithm. But instead, we clearly have a system that's just a bunch of different components tied together to address different problems that Google has had. So, yeah, that is what we learned today. Shouts out to Rand and Michael King. As always, these guys, Mike King knows what's good. Rand knows what's good. Apparently, he's going to be on a bunch of news stories. One interesting thing that we learned in the LinkedIn video that dropped is so Rand threw this to Mike, but it seems like other people had noticed the AI information drop, and one of those people reached out to Mike and helped him with some information to help him basically write his articles so fast, because it was like a 12-hour turnaround time, and the poor guy is on vacation. I think all SEOs don't take vacations. Once you get to a certain revenue figure, it just doesn't happen unless you're like the Thailand bro, but we'll all get there one day. If you're an enterprise and corporate and all that stuff, you just don't do it. Anyways, my personal conclusions coming out of this stuff. So yeah, number one, SEOs know what we're talking about. I said it before, we're probably better at SEO, the algorithm, than Google is. If they really want to fix their system, they should hire like 5 SEOs, create a little council of nerds, and we can fix it pretty quick. I really just don't think there's anyone internally who knows what they're doing, or there's a ton of people that know what they're doing, but they're constantly being stifled by political asks from upper management, and really just the profit motive internally to sell ads. That it's hard to know what's going on. Google's motivations are often quite clear to us externally. The push for site speed. Yes, it helps users. Yes, it benefits everyone. Yes, it's better for the system. But at the end of the day, these faster sites over trillions of URLs save Google millions of dollars in electricity and processing time, I'm sure. And I guess there's also a global good there, to be fair. But, all of these things are just, generally speaking, profit motives. They removed Don't Be Evil a long, long time ago from their system. The second thing I would say is a ton of updates are going to come out of this in the next few weeks. The story is nowhere near over. There's a ton of data. I think people have probably only looked at 2 to 10% of it. We're going to find some very, very interesting gems into the future. Not all of them are going to be useful. Not all of them are going to be legit. But again, today was like the best day. This was Christmas. This was like the day that Matt Cutts retired. This is like a great day in the world of the SEO pantheon. This is actually every Google update where my competitors get crushed and post sad LinkedIn videos about how search isn't fair, and my clients just explode in the rankings. Clip that AI algorithm, because that is the juice to me. today was a great day for SEO nuggets, and I haven't felt this good since the last, like, you know, 10 algorithm updates where my competitors got crushed combined. All that energy. That's how giddy I was today about this update. Um, all right. So going down here, um, I think that probably one of the most terrifying, or no, one of the most surprising things that we learned is actually how little Google is leveraging from other systems. I think if we had a similar type leak from Facebook, it would be like insane how much privacy gets invaded and all that. Sorry, I'm just checking my security cameras. It's late and I heard a wild sound outside. Um, so this to me, and again, like this is good from a privacy perspective, from the sense of what Rand and Efron are after. Is it Efron? Erfan, my bad. I got a hard name too, and I just don't care. I probably should though, right? So like Rand and Irfan are caring about the like privacy, the public good, all that stuff. I'm too jaded, but in reality, I do think it's quite fascinating that there's not a lot for the DOJ to work on. You know, we learned a lot from the lawsuits that came out recently. A lot of lingo that was surprising. We saw some great depositions in the last 6 months. Um, but it's almost terrifying how unconnected the systems were, at least so far. And maybe this is a clearance thing or whatever, but you know, maybe they have a dev that's also an attorney. But I was actually stunned at how not shady the system is. That was actually the thing that I think I found the craziest today. Um, Anyways, just to kind of summarize so far here, I was gonna save it for another video, but one other thing that I do want to say also is like just throwing on my old conspiracy hat here, you know, taking off my gray and black hat and blue hat, whatever, in a hat that works hat, throwing on the tinfoil. I do think that this is real. It looks real. I trust the sources. Part of me always has to consider though, like, what is the op? And going through all of this information, I do wonder if this isn't if this isn't somewhat similar to, say, like, I don't, am I gonna get in trouble? So the PODESTA, you know, the fellow that was working with Hillary, the emails got leaked, and there were some parts of it that got posted, I think, in 4chan. And like the conversation I've always had is like 99.9% of the emails could have been legitimate, and like 0.1% could have been a Russian plant, or maybe it was all legitimate and whatever, right? It doesn't matter, but you know, you believe what you believe at this point, or you don't know what I'm talking about, and that's also cool. But this situation, maybe it is some kind of like Google psyop where they have so much backlash on the AI situation. They're trying to shift the conversation, and I think potentially make themselves look more intelligent by tricking. So making us believe that the system is simple and we've always understood it, and that it's approachable and not unfair. And outside of the utilization of Chrome clickstream data, I don't think there's anything in here that the DOJ would find too anti-competitive or monopolistic. I guess the 50% video thing is also a concern, but those are the only two things they can really dig in on. So the thought that I would have, that I think we need to consider here, like the other side of the coin that we always want to be analyzing, which is the edge of the coin, right? Other side of the coin. I do think that potentially this is some kind of insane PR play on Google's end. But again, the algorithm's always been stunningly simple. They've always fed us a mixture of real information and misinformation. And I do think that there is a pretty high potential that at the end of the day, this is just one or multiple disgruntled employees who've leaked this content. And of course, the SEOs of the world just love to eat this stuff up. And Google will be able to appropriately handle any PR fallout from this. And I think at the end of the day, it will make them look more legit. I don't think this is going to hurt them in any way. All right, tinfoil hat off. Let's go, baby. All right, other things. So here's like the best hacks so far. So exact match domains, demotions. Google says it doesn't work. It clearly does work. I think this just comes down to like humans and engineers not understanding what the algorithm is thinking about stuff. Like it goes back to this concept of entity mapping. And I think that the internal folks ultimately can't get away from exact match domains, specifically because when you want a certain thing, you want a certain thing. And so I think they probably have sophisticated systems to weed out extremely high volume keywords where it would be publicly embarrassing. But I think for a lot of the local rank and rents, the local businesses where people already had very silly exact match domains, like I am Joe Schmo's plumber, Arizona. Like people already had business names like that normally. It's like the AAA plumbing thing with the yellow pages. Like it's already in the system. So EMD still works. It's not going away. It's probably never going to go away until they build this beautiful AI house. The clickstream data from Chrome is crazy. Someone's going to build some amazing AI agents. But yeah, like the Chrome click-through data apparently is the only thing that matters, and maybe the only thing we should be optimizing for, which is something I never thought I would say. Leveraging user navigation to improve flows and CTRs. So when you're analyzing your site and you're deciding how you're going to optimize it, wink, wink, you should definitely be leveraging user navigation data, which is intuitive, but again, some people need it spelled out. This whole nav boost system and how people go through the site, all of these things are just clear algorithmic levers you could pull to get benefit out of. The other thing I would note is topical authority is a very real thing. High quality images, real-time trends. Real-time trends are important, not just because of the news component inside of Google, but just because of the reality that for small businesses, new brands, you have to be on the cutting edge. It's like your only way to get ahead is to build enough new content with real-time trends that haven't exploded yet, such that you are constantly ahead of the curve. It's really the only way to be successful here. And then you want to monitor and leverage real user interactions for defined improvements. So, CRO matters. Google's looking at it. We're looking at it. You should be doing that anyways. But now you have solid confirmation. Upping your domain registration age. I don't know. We don't have an exact number on this yet, but like the reality, maybe like 3 to 5 years is like what we have to do as a standard. No more of this like every year we renew stuff. This might be a really cheap SEO hack if it's true, which it seems to be, because it's attached to the site. The way that it's in the docs makes it pretty clear that it's like it's pretty high up in the filter, I would say. Avoid building low quality links altogether. This one's a really fascinating topic because I think in the dark arts, nuance is so important. And the reality is this tier system within Google kind of explicitly makes it seem like low quality links don't matter at all. And so I think the answer is we need to build links, but we build the low quality links for the naturalness, not because the low quality links help us anywhere, right? So like when I go and build domain links with a 30 plus DR or 50 plus DR, wherever we settle in the coming weeks, Those are the only things that help. Building the low quality links helps us by making sure that our unnatural link profile doesn't hurt us, right? So the baseline level of spam and junk that Google expects, we need to go and have that for the natural look, but that alone doesn't really help us. It just helps to not get us hurt. And then finally, frequently update content. This is something that anyone, this should be on everyone's radar, probably going back 8 or 9 months easy, but this is very, very important. Yeah, that took quite a while. I don't know if we should go through the other pages. I'm losing my voice and I'm going to need it for some client calls tomorrow. So this might have to like have a part 3 here. But I've tried to summarize all of the best information in this document. Again, there is a significant amount of information here. Everything that I've covered before this gets at the core concepts and topics that you need to know. As always, focus on user optimization, clearly on Chrome. Focus on the baseline reality of keeping people on the page, getting them to scroll down, creating experiences that people want to interact with long term. And then basically just trying to pull all the levers you can. And finally, I would say keep in mind that technical SEO will continue to matter into the future, even as the algorithms get crazier and more advanced. Figuring out how to feed and keep the data to Google is going to be essential. We are probably heading into a world where AI will increasingly reduce until it completely replaces any level of human-centric search. And I think that like the reality is the marketers that can please the system, that can please real humans, are gonna be the only ones that truly stick around in what is this next inflection point. I do want to pull up this other sort of thing that I put together back in the day, which is, our success as marketers, everything has a rise and a fall, and our ability to jump from inflection point to inflection point is really our ability to survive here. And so we are absolutely entering a phase where you do not want to be on the wrong end of performance. There will be a moment in the center of the bell curve with peak ROI as far as the AI SEO content happens. Parasite SEO probably has already peaked, right? When you're at the like, oh, I should have done this, or there's 50 guides on something, it's already too late, and you're going to be in this land down here of marginal ROI. So, and once you're in the land of marginal ROI, then each channel becomes commoditized, and the suppliers, a la Google with AdWords, are able to squeeze you on margin, and you don't get this crazy mispricing in the market where you're able to have a low operating cost in a specific channel, but you're able to get peak ROI out of the system because there's low competition. So somewhere between being an early adopter, you want to be after that, you want to be winning in the marketing department, but you don't want to be an insurance salesman in the risk averse side of things where you're too late to stuff because you were trying to be safe. Again, today was a monumental, beautiful day in the world of SEO. The reason why I pulled this up is I tried to create this graphic back in the day that was like, there's some human interaction for a query. Google is kind of throwing these different bars of data at it to understand it. Over time, you got age of sight there, man. I was on it. Over time, they're getting more and more coverage with the understanding. It gets more and more nuanced. There's more and more data points that they're utilizing to fill in the user search demand. It just gets crazier and crazier with our search ranking factors. But ultimately, this is where we're going, and the the interesting component, besides the fact that I said search engines in 2030, and like that seems like a pretty decent estimate at this point. Um, the AI algorithm will supersede your queries. Ultimately, it will, number one, eventually be able to understand you so well that it will presuppose your psychological and physical needs before you are even aware of them. So you will be you will be consumed by the AI. And then the final phase, the more terrifying thing there is eventually the AI itself will sort of encompass our interactions between each other, and that's what really gets down into like the human superorganism. um yeah, so that's where we're at. Today was an amazing day. I've been working on this for like 6 or 7 hours straight. This is I was supposed to do I'm trying to do one video a day a la Jackie from Indexy, and instead I've done two really really long videos in, I guess, technically 2 days. So maybe we just call this day two, part two, day two. Um, but yeah, the the world of marketing is a stack of inflection curves, and it is incumbent upon us to basically ride that roller coaster upwards, or else we will sort of suffer the fate of decline. Oh yes, this is what I had. So, you know, this is what ROI really maps to over time. The best businesses are able to jump from SIPs, from strategic inflection point to strategic inflection point, over and over and over again, and that allows you to get the best ROI. There may be some downward cost early on with new tactics, but videos like this one, if you got this far and you got all this knowledge, that little bit of investment, if you can hop onto the next inflection point, pays off in spades. Um, and so long as you can take your high ROI moment when assets are mispriced and then go and reinvest it into the next thing before each system gets commoditized, and you just keep stacking commoditized systems, the better. That is the only way to do it, and these cycles are also going to get significantly faster. So with that, we're wrapping up part two of the first building in public video I'm making. Whoa. I'm going to try to make... Why is that even happening? Oh, because I'm recording on here now. I'm going to try to make one of these a day, and we'll see how it's going. Drop a comment in the chat, talk some shit, talk some trash in the comments if you have something to say. But yeah, major day, SEO ranking factor leak 2024. I got my shirt. I hope you guys did. Tomorrow, maybe 2 days from now, I want to talk about Google's Kodak finish. How did they blow such a massive AI lead? If any company was founded and positioned, had the technology, the tools, the capability, and the skill set to build AI, it was Google. And they blew it for the cheapest possible thing, which was, we're just going to cram more ads down your throat. This may go down as I hope Google comes back. I have no idea really where the business and the market is going out there, but this will probably go down as one of the most monumental fails ever. I think in 100 years, when people talk about companies that blew a lead, they're not going to talk about Kodak failing to leverage digital imaging. They're going to talk about Google having everything to develop AI, inventing transformers, and then not doing it. That is the world we live in. And so that tells you no matter how difficult, trying, and jacked up the odds feel, there is almost always an entry point for a David to come out here and crush a Goliath. Not every day is going to be your lucky day, but those moments will absolutely continue to happen, and the innovators will just keep winning. So, yeah, that's it.